good. Today, we are talking about how to go from AI curious to AI powered. And what that actually means is that if you are in a non technical, okay, here we go. First hiccup. Okay, now I can see you all, and now you guys can see my screen. Our goal today is to, if you're a non-technical person, just like me when I first got started, is to get you to using AI more than just to chat with it. That's my goal for today. And if I can help you do something more than just chatting with AI today at the end of this 1 hour, I'm going to count this as a win. So let's get started. We have a lot to cover today. Who am I? For those of you that don't know me, my name is Kayuri Anand. I'm an AI product leader at Clio. I build AI native products for non-technical people, such as lawyers, because I work in legal tech firm. I've had a long 15-year career in product building software products. The reason you will hear me throughout the session say that I'm non-technical because I'm not a software engineer. Everything that I know, I have taught myself. And I have a lot of people here who have pushed me and forced me to build this course for the last year and a half to share everything that I've taught myself. And so that's why I'm here to share all of those learnings of how I went from 0 to 1 with you guys. So that's kind of the whole point of all of this. I also advise on a couple of advisory boards, and I've been teaching for over 5 years. I want to say I've taught more than 2,000 people. I've lost count, but the number is somewhere over there. Uh, but what this is about is you. And I see that a lot of you don't have your cameras on. May I please ask you to put your cameras on? Don't put me to sleep, and I will try not to put you to sleep as well. I like to see when I'm teaching, I like to see the nods and the light bulb moments go on in your eyes so that, we can keep this interactive and keep it going. Use lots of emojis, lots of reactions. That helps me keep going and makes me understand that I'm going on the right path. Couple of things. Um, Hold your questions. We have a lot to cover. We are going to end with a hands-on step-by-step workflow to building your first automation today, and how to set it all up so you can reuse and recycle all of those instructions uh, throughout the rest of the few weeks. So hang in there all the way till the end. Hold your questions. At the end, we'll have 15-20 minutes or as long as we need to answer all the questions. So we'll come back and do a Q&A at the end. In the meantime, a lot of people have joined from all over the world. So I would love it if you can drop in the chat two things. Where are you from? And what do you do? What is your role? Are you in marketing? Are you in sales? Are you technical? Are you in product? Are you non-technical? If you can drop that in the chat, I'm going to go back after the course and look at the recording and understand who I was talking to today. So that would be very, very helpful. Okay, let's get this started. We're 5 minutes in. We have a lot to cover. So why are we here? This was a report, LinkedIn Economic Graph report that was published in January 2026. And according to this report, 70% of the jobs posted on LinkedIn require AI fluency. And I'm sure if you haven't already, you will as the year goes by. A lot of organizations are mandating AI use. You're getting access to all sorts of AI tools, whether it's a Claude organization or a Microsoft organization that's giving access to all sorts of tools like Copilot or Gemini, and all of the AI tools, and you're being asked to use those. A lot of people I've spoken to over the last year and a half say this exact thing. I need to know how to use AI properly for two things. One is automate a lot of my work, get more productivity out, and second is to stay relevant in the job market, get to the next level, get promoted, be the go-to person in my company who is AI savvy and so forth. I want to tell you that when ChatGPT came out, I started and I taught everything to myself. And I want to tell you that it does pay off. I've had two massive promotions in the last year and a half. I'm not sharing this to brag, but only to say that all of that has come because I was the go-to person who knew AI in my company, and opportunities found me for having been in that position. So, and I would love to get you there as well, but one step at a time. So today's goal is to get you on a path of automating your current work between the work, the busy work, so you can focus on the real things that you were trained to do. So, main problem, actually, a quick show of hands. How many of you have ever used any of these chatbots like ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, any of it, and thought to yourself, this thing is dumber than a rock. I cannot get it to do what it needs to do. Give me a quick show of hands or nods because you have your cameras on. And if you are one of those, let me tell you, you are not alone. The main reason is three. There are three things where things kind of fall apart. One, and it all boils down to if you're using it the same way as you use Google search, it's not going to work. But why doesn't it work? The main problem is Google search, you're casting a wide net, you're looking for information, you're casting a wide net to fish for the information you want over the internet. With AI chatbots, you are looking for specific, nuanced, pointed information. You want it to answer the question behind the question that you have. And so, in order to get to that nuanced, pointed, proper information, you need to give it the context. So, if you haven't told it what you're looking for, and I've used Claude here because I'm very bullish on Claude, and you will see why, but you can replace Claude with any LLM of your choice, and the problem is the same. If you don't tell it what you're looking for, who you are, what you need, how you want it, what good looks like, all of these, it's going to guess and make assumptions. If you're not going to tell it what aspect of its personality you want it to pull, meaning to say, what hat do you want these LLMs to wear? It's trained on the knowledge of the world. So it's going to tell you whatever, whatever it thinks, assumes that you know. And then third thing is if you don't tell it the exact way in which you want it to answer, no format, no instruction on what good likes, again, it's going to assume what good looks like. So here's a mindset shift. And if you've been using these tools and you've learned to go from this thing is dumber than a rock to now, okay, this is somewhat good. I think you already have this mindset shift already done, but if you haven't, we're starting from first principles. So I'll say it. Claude, it's not a search engine. Any AI, it's not a search engine. Think of it like Einstein in your basement. It's a capable colleague and intern. Just like any other interns that you may hire, you have to train them a little bit, tell them what to work around, what the boundaries are, what the constraints are, and then they do a good job of it. So, let me just admit Brenda. Okay, so, how do you actually do it? So, I've told you what the problem is. How do you actually do it? So, few things. First of all, each one of these different LLMs are trained on or are optimized for different outputs. So, choosing the right one is the first step. And so, here's a quick framework on how to choose the right one. So, ask yourself three things. Yeah. What is the task that I want my LLM to do? How big of data analysis or general purpose search I needed to do, and do I need it to be automated or do I just want to ask it question? Is it a thinking partner or is it an assistant that's going to do things for me? Based on those answers, here's some rules of thumb from my experience on what I've found. I've tested all of these, and here's some learnings. So Claude's great at writing and reasoning. So if you wanted to like think like a colleague, I think it's good. Gemini is based on the robust Google platform. So Google has the best search right now. Anything that you want for search, deep research, you want to do market research, competitive research, all of that, Gemini is great at. It's also Nano Banana, which is a product of Google, also great at image generation. And then for coding, it keeps switching between Claude Code and Codex, which is OpenAI's product. And it's somewhat at par, but you can try out either and you won't go wrong. If you have large documents or folders full of information that you want these LLMs to assess, I want to go with Claude. And if you're, in addition to making it, using it as a thinking partner, if you want assistants that actually do work for you, I'm very bullish on Claude. A combination of Claude Desktop and Cowork actually enables us to automate a lot of our work related work, right? Our business problems. It's very designed and built for business users, non-technical business savvy users. So that's why you will hear me say a lot about Claude for everything, because that's my favorite tool. I'm very bullish on the use of Claude, but if you have any other tools, you can still apply what I'm going to talk about, what we are learning here today. You can still apply to all of these tools. So here's a quick cheat sheet. You will get the slides. Somebody from my team will share slides with you all later, and you're welcome to go back and see these. But Claude is great for long documents, writing, system thinking, structured workflows, pretty much everything we do in work every day. Chat GPT is great if you're going on a walk and you want to brainstorm, you want to talk to something as you're walking and brainstorm ideas, thoughts, go on deep thinking tangents. It's great. Quick searches, it's great as well. Gemini is the Google platform. Excellent if your company uses Google suite like Google Docs, Google Sheets. Gemini is great. They have very good inbuilt integration with those tools. Multilingual tasks, deep research, I already mentioned. Grok is based on X's, like a lot of news information coming from Twitter. So it's great at real-time news information, talking to it. It has a personality. It will take you down a conspiracy theory hole like none other. So it's actually very funny. If you want to go down that route and want to talk to an LLM who can actually banter with you and have a personality, I found Grok is pretty funny. Okay, so that's your cheat sheet on how to pick between which tools. I've shared with you that I've kind of married myself to Claude for the time being because of the whole offering. So that's the tangent we are going on. So we're going to look at all the different types of products or things that Claude does and what to use for how, what purposes, and see if I can explain in a very quick manner on how that is. So Claude Chat, which is the actual chatbot from the company Anthropic, great for thinking, talking to, reasoning, summarizing long documents, rewriting, all of this. This whole lesson, I had so many ideas that I wanted to share, but this is my first lesson. And so I really used it as my thinking partner to narrow it down and go from first principles. Cowork, think of Cowork as your assistant, as your intern. It will do things. So you can give it instructions, you can give it boundaries and say, hey, go ahead and do these three tasks at this time of day, constraints, triggers, it will do it. So if you're thinking, use chat. If you're doing, use Cowork. Claude Code is a developer superpower. If you're not developing, if you're not coding, if you're not wanting to build software, write or review code, just knowing that it exists is good enough. You can forget about it for now until you are at a level where you're like, okay, I'm going to build my own startup all by myself. And you will get to that point, but you don't need to worry about that right now. Claude Design is for all your visual designing needs. So you can satisfy all your visual designing appetite with Claude Design. You can describe it and Claude will create it. For slide deck, this image itself was created in Claude Design. A lot of the visual artifacts you see in this presentation are done by Claude Design. All my step-by-step guides that I'm going to share with you at the end is built using Claude Design. One thing to note, all of these, can interact with you in natural language using natural language processing technology. Main thing to know is you can just talk to it in plain English and it will do. You can chat with it, you can tell Cowork to do what it's going to do. You can even build code with normal English language instruction. That's why I like to use it, because I'm not a software developer, and while I can read code, I do not enjoy writing code. So, cool. Okay. Okay, time is moving fast and we have still a lot to cover. And I want to spend majority of this session in the hands-on section, because I'm going to have you follow along with me as I go and do these things. So let's keep moving. Building your AI operating system. So, before we go into the demo and actually start doing things, understanding a little bit of what we are trying to do here is going to help us. Um, there are three layers. So, I try to imagine like a three-layer cake for our AI operating system. AI operating system is nothing but this idea that you are building automated workflows for yourself so that you can outsource your day-to-day busy work, things that simple things to start with, and then as we go ahead, a little bit more complex things. So simple things like here's all the meeting transcripts from my day-to-day. Tell me all the to-do lists of all the things that while I was on a call, I committed myself to doing, but forgot to make a note. Give me a short list of my to-do list that I can follow tomorrow. And things like that. So the base layer of this AI operating system cake is going to be your context files. Context files is you basically telling Claude who you are, how you write, what good looks like, and so forth, so that you don't have to teach it every day, these things. You want her to teach it once and let it reuse that information over and over again. So you don't have to give it detailed instruction, and you can just give it one line instruction that says, summarize my meeting notes and create a to-do list on a daily basis, and it'll do it for you. The next layer is your reusable projects. So projects are, again, next layer of instructions. So give you an example. You can have a project for meeting notes, action items. We use AI for a lot of things, personal and professional. Having projects kind of keeps those instructions tightly structured. So I'm an AI product manager for legal tech. I have separate project for all the different products that I own, so I can give it instructions and don't have to repeat myself. At the same time, I also teach, and I teach at three different places. So I have different projects for each of my courses that I teach, one for Johns Hopkins University, one for UT Austin, one for free lightning lessons at Maven, and so forth. I'm also a mom of two kids, one who's obsessed with sports and one is a high schooler. So, two whole different types of, information, context. Tell me everything about college selection versus tell me everything about Ronaldo because my son's obsessed with Ronaldo. So, different projects for all different aspects of your life will help you automate a lot of these things. And then the third is the actual workflow. So we'll build a structure in the workflow so that it can be repeated and reused. Um, okay, we are going to go into our live demo session now. Before I go there, I'm going to pause because I talked about a lot of things very, very fast. I'm going to pause. If anybody has any questions, um, please raise your hand and we can answer some questions. And please, you guys are putting me to sleep. Keep your cameras on so I can see you. Sufi, thank you so much. William, thank you so much for giving your camera on. I really appreciate you guys. I see Sufi nodding there, and I know at least I got one person. I got one person's attention here. Okay, questions so far? Anyone find what I shared new, or you knew it but like haven't done the automation? Anybody surprised that Claude does so much already? Animesh, go ahead.
I've just been using Claude Code recently. I'm in sales and I don't know any bit of coding and never been in tech stack for many years. But just seeing how Claude is progressing with all its products and modules and just the ability of what it can produce. And I recently was in a 1 week presentation, and what would have taken me 2.5 weeks, Claude did that in like a matter of 2 hours when I was flying down to Canada. So that just allowed me to think there's so much potential to use Claude to, and I think you said this, Kayori, right in the beginning. AI, being AI native in this world, in this space, is actually so much more important. And if you are ahead in the race, I think you can be ahead of your peers and colleagues. So that's really kind of what I want to do.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for sharing that. That's very, very true. Actually reminds me of when I was little and my dad was working, and this was when computers became a thing, and all of the companies brought computers over, and many of my dad's colleagues decided to think like, be scared about it, worry about it, thinking, oh my God, we're going to lose our jobs. These computers are going to replace us. And just, I remember conversations of people being nervous about it. And then there were a few people like my dad who decided to go with the flow and kind of get upskilled. And then come to today, like consistently having upskilled and just used it to improve more and more their lives. And today can't even live without ChatGPT. So it's a journey, and I hope and wish that most people go on it because there is a lot these things can offer. I especially like to use it to automate the boring stuff that I really don't want to do and has no cognitive challenge for me to do, which I would, if I had an intern or an assistant that I could hire, I would have outsourced it. That's where I like to start. So thank you for sharing that. Okay, let us.
Kayuri, I have a
Yeah.
question. Hi, it's Magdalena. I don't late, and I'm off camera. I'm so sorry, but I'm listening. My question is, in my work environment, we use Microsoft products, so I use Copilot,
Mhm.
and I also use Cowork within Copilot. But my question is more, if I want to build an operating system for my personal life and business life, how can I merge both if I'm using separate systems?
You're using separate versions of Claude or using.
Well, I have my work environment for my, I mean, I'm using Copilot for my professional life, and then I'm using Claude and ChatGPT for my personal one. And I'm thinking, is there a way to merge those worlds? Um, if you want to like manage your personal schedule with your professional schedule,
Mhm.
how do you do that? Like how
Let,
can you do that with AI? Do you
so
build like a separate system somewhere?
scheduling is probably easier. So let's talk about that once the demo is done. Stay back, and I have some thoughts, and I can share those
Okay,
with you
thank
at
you.
the end. Yeah.
Uh, Kayuri, I know you're running late. Just only one thing. Can we download this presentation?
Yes. Someone from my team should be able to share the link with you, and you should be able to download it.
It's in the chat.
And just quick housekeeping at the end, there is a little bit more than just this presentation. I have a couple of guides, like a step-by-step guide. So if you can't keep up, because it's just an hour and we are moving fast, if you can keep up, you'll have that handout, that guide that you can follow along. And all of these about me documents that I'm sharing, asking you to create, I've built a little self-starter template because everybody's about me is going to look different. So I'm going to share those with you at the end as well. And email will go out with recording and all of these materials. Okay. Okay, Samir, you had a question.
Yeah, yeah. Hi, Kayori. Good
Hi.
seeing you. Sorry, I can't turn my camera on.
Good to see you.
Yes.
Good to see you.
Quick question for you. I feel like the AI trends seem to keep changing. Last year it was more around tools like Power Automate and think courses that I did with you and Mahesh last year.
Hmm.
And now it's like such a big excitement and energy all around Cloud Code, and all the stuff around LangChain and all of that has kind of not necessarily lost, but like feels like Cloud Code has dominated so much that everyone is, even I'm using Cloud Code too, and I'm starting to create some of my workflow automations and learning along the way. What do you see the trends like even going into come next year? It seems like Cloud Code is hot this year. Who knows what's next year?
Um, Honestly, I don't worry too much about the trends. It's more to me which product serves the problem at hand so much. Um, I do see the trend going more and more, at least for us business users, more and more automation. Like you like Claude Code, I'm saying people are sleeping on Claude Cowork. I'm such a big fan of Cowork to just automate my day-to-day life, and there is no way that with the amount of different things that I have consistently on the go and be able to actually do everything in 24 hours and continue to be a decent parent without all of this automation. It takes away just so much my work. So I think I do see a trend from a business perspective a lot in the AI employees kind of thing. We're building something similar for legal firm where a lot of the back end work gets automated completely. And I think that trend just keeps growing more and more.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Anjali, go ahead and then we'll move to the demo. Go for it.
Thank you, Curie. I'm sorry I'm not on video, bandwidth problems, but I just had a quick question. So, you already gave an example, an excellent example, that you put all the boring work that does not require cognitive space to Claude.
Mhm.
My similar kind of work that does not require any like cognitive uh, energy from my side, but is very, very manual, is all on Excel. Do you think that maybe Claude can talk to other tools and I can get this automated? Like, does it have that capability?
Yes, absolutely. And let me show you that. Absolutely. Let me show you. A lot of these products can now connect with other tools in order to do that. Today, I'm going to show you folders, but I'll also quickly touch, now that you've asked me, I'll quickly touch on that connectors, but I have some more lightning lessons planned to go more and more deeper into skills, connectors, things like that, how to like fully automate a lot of this stuff. So that's a great segment. Let's actually get started. So, can somebody from my team please post the step-by-step guide? And I am going to basically show you the guide and then I'm gonna go into Claude and show it. So, for the next step of what we are doing, you are going to need a $20 Claude version, paid version if you have it. Cowork is available under that. Here's if you're like absolutely new and have no idea how to use Claude. I started very basic. If you already have downloaded and installed Claude on your computer, on your desktop app, you can skip all the way to step number 2. And what we are doing is, in my presentation, I told you the first base layer is the context, right? We need to tell Claude who you are, how you write, how you think, um, what do you do, and what good looks like. So the way we do this is by creating one folder called Claude, and we are going to put 4 subfolders in it. So let me do this so we can. Okay. You guys can see my screen, okay? Still visible? Okay. So if you're new, start here. Go on your desktop computer, create a new folder called Claude, and create 4 subfolders inside it called About Me, Projects, Templates, and Output. And the whole point of these folders, I'll keep talking as you create these in the background. But the whole purpose of these folders is inside the About Me folder, we're going to put some text files. We're going to tell it, who you are, how you work, what is your writing style. There is a lot more you can do, but the problem is not problem. The goal is that you want you don't want to tell this information to Claude every time you talk to it, but Claude will still read this information every time you talk to it. So if you put a 10 pager here about me, like your whole life story, you're going to use up a lot of tokens, and you're going to get rid of your usage, limited usage that Claude gives you very, very fast. So keep it crisp. I have a template I'll share with you in a minute. But your goal is to, that's the purpose of About Me folder. The second folder is the projects. The projects folder is where you keep things organized. So, like if you have different customers that you deal with, or I'm a product person, so my projects are different. I have a project for each product. Then if I want automation for Zoom transcript summarization, and like I mentioned, the use case, right? Summarize all my Zoom call transcripts for the day and create a to-do list for tomorrow. Then I have a separate project for all my Zoom transcripts to go to. There is a way to directly connect Claude with Zoom as well, which I will show you. That's what the connectors, Claude can connect to Excel, Zoom, all sorts of different products. But you can split, project is like, think about it like a constrained piece of work. You can do it by use case, you can do it by product, you can do it by customer, you can do it by areas of your life. You can split it however, but it's constrained piece of work that you don't have to repeat your instructions for. That's how you think about projects. Then templates. If your work requires repeated content generation of any kind. So that could be, if you are in marketing, it could be specific types of newsletters, ad copies. I'm in product, so my templates are all product related, product requirements document, customer intel document, a vision document, a strategy document, all of these. So for your different work areas, you think about, this is a thinking exercise here. Think about what are some of the repeatable things that you have to do on a daily basis, and throw those in your template, your good examples in the templates folder. And then your outputs folder is where Claude puts all your content. Like output folder is where you want to direct Claude to put everything it creates in that folder. Cool. So far, so good. Okay. Then next step is we are going to create the 3 files that we need in the About Me folder. So the 3 files that we need are called About Me, My Rules, and My Voice. So can someone from my team actually in the chat post the second handout called Claude Context Files? And this is taking a little while for you to do, but know that this supercharges your repeatable use. This will enable you to get consistent results from Claude over a lot of many, many weeks to come. So do this investment, like take the time to think through it properly. The way you need it to be a plain text file. So if you're on Mac, you can just do a command space and you can create a text edit, like you can search text edit and it creates a new text edit file for you, and you can enter the content. Now I have a sample on what the content should be. So here's a sample of About Me. This is created from what I have in my setup. So you are welcome to, you may not be able to do this right now, right away, because you'll need to think through all of your details, but here's what good, like here's an example, and then here's a template for you to write yours. So you can use these handouts later to write your own. But let me walk you through what my About Me folder looks like.
Can I just ask you one quick question? Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
So I'm looking at these templates, and then they are in the cloud. Is it something that I can download the templates and then use my own version of those?
You can use your own version. I don't
Mhm.
think I didn't design this to be downloaded.
Oh,
So
okay. So
you're
this is
welcome to
basically
just
just in the
copy
cloud.
and yeah, you can just copy it and put it in a regular text file.
Okay, never mind. Yeah, I think that sounds great. Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
no
And I
problem.
did ask a question in the chat, like whenever you have some time. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
Where can we
Uh,
access this file, what you're showing, Kayuri?
sorry, say that again.
Where can we access this?
My team should have posted it in the chat.
Okay.
Can someone post it
I
in the
can
chat again? Here. Here's the
I
chat,
can
the
see them,
latest.
but they are actually in the cloud, right? Aren't they?
These are published, so you should, if you click on the link in the chat, you should be able to open it.
Yeah,
Somebody
but they
tell
are
me,
actually directly in the cloud, but not I can something download, not something that I can download.
no, you won't be able to download these
Oh,
files. These are a web published version, but what
oh,
you
okay.
can do is copy and
Hmm.
paste because you have to make your own anyway. Like your
Oh,
About
yeah.
Me will be different than
Okay.
my About Me. This is Yeah, but this is like a template, so you can copy and put it in a text file of your own and write. But I created this template to give you an example of what it looks like in for a like a non-technical persona, but you're welcome to make your own. So the main thing is what sections does it need to have? So your About Me file would need to have who you are. So you can put your name, you can put what role you have at mid-size marketing company or whatever that looks like for you. So mine, my personal one, it usually says, my name is Kiori, I'm a AI product lead at Clio. Clio is a legal tech company, and here are all the products in my portfolio, and here's what the intention of those products are. So that's how I do it. I didn't, in this example, put one for product because I know that not many people are technical product owners here. So I made it kind of generic here, but you can write yours based on your area of expertise. Then you say, what do you do day to day? So like I mentioned, I put details about my product. You can put what your scope of work, what your main mandate, what were you hired to do? If you are doing this for personal work, then the whole thing changes. So write it from that lens. So if I make a separate file, like if I want this, if I'm going to use this setup for both personal and professional, I add both of them here. So I also say, I'm also a mom, I have two boys, or I have an interest in running. So this is my space, and I'm going to ask you details about running. So you can put things, this is context to teach AI preemptively how to think for you based on the questions you intend to ask it. Okay. And then it's not a one and done thing also. So let me mention, as we grow, as time goes by, our lives change. We change jobs. Uh, our kids grow, our hobbies change, our goals change, and you can come and change this whenever as things grow. But the whole idea is you don't want to, the whole purpose of doing these About Me files is to make sure you don't have to do this every single time you talk to Claude, to give it some preemptive idea. That's the whole point. It doesn't mean that you take 6 hours today and you never touch it again. Of course, if your life changes, you will update this. In fact, I recommend that you audit these files once a month just to make sure they are fresh and they are relevant. So you keep getting the best output from these LLMs. That's the whole point. And then you mention who you work with, what different teams you work with, what different aspects. Uh, this is kind of, it's like when a new intern, think of this one pager document is when you hire an assistant. What are you going to tell it about your life so that the assistant can do their best work. That mental model always helps me put the right content here. Cool? Make sense? Okay, thank you. Tools I use. So somebody asked me a question a little bit ago about the connectors. So you can write here. I like to put this constraint. I'm not technical. If something requires coding, tell me. I write this constraint, and you should write it only if you don't intend to use Claude code at all. Although I do want to say, don't be scared of Claude code. But if you've never used any of these technology and if you're super new, then feel free to put this constraint until you get to a tech savviness of feeling comfortable to use Claude code. But so your mileage may vary on whether you want to write this or not, but it will tell you then if you need to write code for some stuff. So write yours. That's file number 1. We have 2 more to create. This one is about you. The second one, so in the handout, if you click on my voice, you will see the next one. This one especially takes some time to do this right. If you have, as part of your work, you need to generate content. If you require, like I'm a product person, I write documents all day. I have to think, and then I have to translate that thinking into documents. And there are all sorts of different documents, super high level PowerPoint slides, all the way to very granular requirements and spec that I can give to a developer. So my job requires me to write a lot, so I take a lot of time to do this. If your job also requires you to write a lot, then take your time to do this. If you intend to use this setup only to write like LinkedIn posts or email summaries and things like that, or just have it draft your emails in better professional tone and things like that, you can give samples of that type of writing. Like if you're only using for, you can give it past LinkedIn posts, your past email samples for it to write. But here's an example of what I write. I write like I talk. It's direct, it's warm, but it's no fluff. I don't like to beat about the bush. I don't write essays. I don't even like reading long explanatory books. I like things to the point and crisp. That's me. If you're different, write it how you write, how you operate here, right? And I added this because I have noticed that uh, some of these LLMs use these type of words, which are, to me, it sounds like fluff and it doesn't exactly represent my voice. So you can have a blacklist of words that you absolutely don't want it to use, and you can put it here. If you don't have it, that's fine too. And basically you can write how you want it to write and give it your examples. Give it a couple of real samples of how you write, and that file is done. I also mentioned in my personal one that I like to use emojis once in a while. Not heavy on emojis, like not every sentence has an emoji, but also not super boring. So I added that, and then it does a decent job of it. Okay. And then the third one is the rules document. And the rules will change and iterate. Here's your starting point. So I always say, my rules are always read my about me and my voice files before doing anything. If you haven't read them, read them now. Ask me at least one clarifying question before you begin, even if the task seems clear. I'd rather answer a question than redo the work. And then show me, I cannot insist enough. Claude has a planning mode built into its design. So what it does is it will plan any work, whichever one of the 4 tools I showed you, chat, cowork, Claude Code, or design, it plans before it executes. And this one sentence will always make sure that you see the plan before it does the work. So you get an early signal on whether it understood your request properly or not. It adds one additional step to your own like process, but I have found that it's very, very helpful, especially if you're asking it to do a big task. Definitely invoke the plan mode and have it tell you what it's going to do before it actually does it. Then you have leverage control to change it. Okay. Um, then you have your while you're working instructions, how you want it to do. You're welcome to just straight up copy these my instructions as I have here, and get it working, and then you can change it as you go. Okay. So now coming back to our folder structure, your About Me folder is done. Then let's go back to this setup. So our step 7 is done. Our folder is About Me folder is ready. Then you go and you set up your Claude Coworks. So let me now open Claude and show you. Okay. So give me 1 second. Let's close these folders. We are done. Okay. So first of all, I want to show you connectors. So someone was asking me, can you point Claude to all of the different things in the app? You can go ahead and so if you go here, this is your Claude. You can go to customize, and then if you go to connect your apps, here you will see all sorts of different connectors. So if you have Google Sheets, I think you were saying, right? You can go ahead and search by Google Sheets. You can put your Google Sheets in Google Drive and it will connect. You can filter these connectors by code category, communication, data, design, financial services, like you can connect all sorts of different tools. I love to have connected my my call transcript tool. I use a tool called Granola, which records calls and transcribes them. I connect those. Slack is very popular. Zoom for Claude is very popular. So you can have these connect, and connecting it is super, super easy. You can just go here and it's gonna ask you to go through the actual step of connection and it'll connect. Um,
Can I ask one quick question? You
yeah.
you said that you use Granola for recording your sessions. When you say recording, does it mean that it's your meeting sessions, or what exactly those
Granola
recordings?
is a software. It transcribes, so it listens. It's like Zoom
Right,
transcription.
right. But do you need to have a what do we call? Do we need to subscribe to that, or is it a free
Subscription.
tool?
Yeah, Granola is just something that my company provides for us to
Ah,
use. So I end up using it. There is a cost to it. I believe they have a free version. You can check it out. But it's not necessary. Like if you have Zoom, that you can connect Zoom for Claude and it will you can then transcribe and summarize your
okay.
transcription for Zoom also. It
Yeah,
is
because some constraints, especially when you're working for any organizations, they have some constraints on, to download or not to download, restrictions on, some of these, apps and applications. They say, oh, not do not download any of those. So they provide
Yeah,
some of the.
yeah, no, rather that's true. And that's why check out these connectors and
Okay.
try to, for your
Hmm.
use case, if you have a use case where you will like, I wish Claude could just talk to this software, it would make my life so much easier. Go and look here, see if the software is available for connection. The chances are high. Um,
Oh,
rather than saying, rather than thinking about it like, how many connections do I have? and
Okay.
then replicate that. It's more like what do you need in your workflow and connect those things as opposed to
Okay.
trying to match what I
Is
have.
it more like a plugin, or is it an app that you need to download? Because plugin is definitely different than just it's just plug into your browser, or is it an app that you need to download?
No, these are actually going to, so say if I connect with Gmail and I say
Mhm.
connect, it's going
Uh-huh.
to just ask me to go through my
Oh,
authentication. It does, if you're technical, it does like an OAuth connection in the background.
okay. Sounds great. I'll
Yeah,
explore. Thank you so much.
yeah, no problem. So then we are going to go into, you're going to go to settings, then you're going to go to cowork. And when you are here in the settings and in cowork, you're going to go to, one second, these are the global instructions. So you're going to go and edit the global instructions. And I want you to give it these instructions. I just removed mine so I can copy and paste. So you can say, I am Curie, I'm in whatever your role is, and then I'm basically telling it, read my files in About Me before every task, ask me questions before you start executing anything, and all. These are your global instructions for every interaction that you have with cowork. So once you have these interactions set up, and you're gonna then open the cowork product in, so this is your chat product, this is your cowork product. Once you open cowork in the actual desktop app.
Gary, can you just take back 2, 3 more steps?
Yeah.
What do you do in the settings and where exactly is that?
Yeah, so settings on the bottom here, you will go to this arrow and
Mm-hmm.
you can go to settings.
Okay.
And once you're in settings, you can put instructions like general instructions. So the way I got here is these are general instructions for telling it always ask clarifying questions, always do these things. So I usually, in my general instructions, I usually like to say things like don't use M dashes and don't use these specific way of writing and things like that. Then for cowork you can put specific instructions. So to do cowork instructions, go to cowork and put global instructions for all your cowork section, all your cowork, and you go here edit and you copy, and basically to start with you can paste these instructions. Once you use it and you know that, oh, it's not, I wish I always had it do X, or I wish it could always ask me, or always start in plan mode, or be aggressive and push back on all my aims. You can give it all those instructions, and then if you save it, then what it does is it always keeps that in mind. It's like a global set of instructions that you're giving it. Think of it like traditional software. You have settings and customizations, but this is more in natural language. So you can tell it whatever and it will follow. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So then once you've set these instructions, you're going to go to cowork and you are going to ask it to work in a project. So this is where all of those folders that we built in our on our desktop earlier, you're going to connect those folders with this thing so that you told it to always read those files about you, right? So now once you connect it, it will always have access to those folders. So then you're going to go choose folder, and then you're going to go desktop, and you're going to say Claude, and you're going to say open. And you can say allow, and now it always has access to those folders. It will, one thing to note, Cowork will only read and edit inside this folder until you ask it to do something else. So if you like, you need not worry about, oh, I'm giving it access to my computer. Is it gonna delete files, or is it gonna order stuff using my credit card? You need not worry those things unless you give it explicit instructions to do that in a specific app. It's not gonna, like, just something for you to know that it's not gonna do that. Then you are going to go and open inside your work folder. You're gonna go and open the actual projects, and you can create files. So let me show you. Mm. Okay. So this is the folder, right? In the projects folder, I have a thing called meeting transcripts. In here, I have put all my meeting transcripts as a sample for you. You can put your meeting transcripts in here as well. And basically what we are doing currently is we are telling this thing, I want you to read my files and read everything in this folder that I gave you. So you can do this same thing. Basically, you're telling this instructions to cowork. This is your first automation you're building. So you're asking it to read my files, then read everything in the project's meeting transcripts folder, and then write me a clean action report with 3 sections: key decisions that were made, open questions, and next step with who owns each one. And then save it to the action report document in the output folder. And once I hit go, it's gonna keep going, and you can see that it's actually setting up, it's connecting, it's gonna read all of those files. It may take 3 to 5 minutes because it's reading these files. It's gonna ask me a whole bunch of permission requests, and I'm kind of just giving it all of those permissions. And then it goes and it creates all of the commands, and it's gonna create that report for you. So the point I am making is I want you to do this exact same thing and run that automation. Once you have run it and it looks good for you for once, you can tell it to do this every day at 4 p.m. or 5 p.m. like clockwork. And then you don't have to repeat it. Every day you can come in with this automation. All you have to do is just go in that folder to get a brief of what the day was. There is more you can build on top of this, which we can go through in the next few sessions, in the next few lightning sessions, week after week as we go. You can automate it to send you an email. You can automate to send you a Slack message, and a lot more. But like I mentioned earlier, we're building a layered cake. And today we built the first 3 layers. We taught it to do context. We taught it to understand the context. We taught it to create reusable prompts and reusable instructions. And then we taught it to point at one specific folder to do one specific thing. And that is all I wanted to talk to you about today. Before I go into Q&A, I know there are some hands there. So, but we are at time, so I will answer all your questions for as long as it takes. But let me quickly wrap up for those of you who want to leave. Next few weeks, every Saturday morning, same time, I'm going to show up for an hour session to keep building on this layered cake and keep adding more and more to these workflows. There is a lot more deeper we go in our course that is starting on July 20th. It's a 4-week structured program where these little bits and pieces that we are doing here in these 3 sessions, we'll do a very tailored, structured approach. So 4 weeks in and out, you'll be able to build skills, agents, connectors, everything to pretty much automate all of the busy work in your um, tailored to your specific use cases. The main purpose of this is to kind of help you go from I talk to AI and sometimes it's dumber than a rock, and sometimes it does what it does. To I don't even have to talk to AI. I told it, I taught it what it needs to do, so I can, be the most productive, and most importantly, be the main person in my company. At least my goal when I started was to be that main person, go-to person who is AI savvy and seen as a subject matter expert when it comes to using AI in my workflows in my company. And at the end of the day, open more opportunities, growth, career, uh, being able to do a lot more with a lot less time. That's kind of been my goal. My team can post some information with regards to this course. And we just opened the early bird signups today. So if you're interested, go for it. Use the information that the team is going to share with you. Like I mentioned, I'm showing up every Saturday. Next session is how to future proof your career with AI. We're going to keep building on what we learned here today. There are a lot of free resources that you can keep learning from. So again, team, if you can post the links here for folks who wanted to just sign up and keep meeting me. And if you need to drop off, please feel free to drop off. I'm just going to answer questions now. But thank you so much for spending your Saturday morning with me. I hope that this was helpful. I hope you took away something tangible that you can start using as early as tomorrow.
Kayuri, I have just great work, great job. I have two questions. First, I'm not able to download the presentation because I was focused on listening to you, and I just want to download. I have the link, online link, but
Okay.
I can't download.
Can someone please help either download and drop the PDF in the chat, or can someone from my team please help in the chat with this? Thank you. Okay, thank you.
And
Um,
second question is, I was trying to create about me.
mhm.
So should I just, I'm on Mac, should I just open text editor and create
Yeah,
there
yeah,
and then put
exactly.
it in? Okay, got it.
Copy all, Control A, Command C, Command V. So you're gonna be able to copy that whole template, paste it in text edit, and edit it with your information.
Okay.
Okay, I don't know who had their hand raised first, but Kamal, you're showing up first, so go for it.
Yeah. Kerry, thank you for this session. Within this short 1 hour, I felt that you covered a lot, clarifying about what tools to use to giving a working demo, which is great. I use Claude Cowork and Code, and the issue that I get with Pro subscription is that it keeps hitting the session limit, and then I have to wait for a few hours. I did see that you are also using Pro subscription, so how do you manage that?
I have some tips and tricks in the actual prompting that I use and in global instructions. First of all, my about me, all of the files that I have it to use are super succinct. Like I use as minimum tokens as possible. And I have a few other tips and tricks. So I think I don't think I have ability to go through all of those here. So I will do a post. I'll make a note and I'll do a post on LinkedIn on how to actually not keep hitting limits and drop it in Substack. So please follow me on LinkedIn and send me a message on LinkedIn so I can share with you when I do that post, Kamal.
Sure.
Okay.
Sounds great. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Rishabh, go ahead.
Hey, Kerry. Am I
Hi.
audible?
I can hear you. Yes.
Am I audible now?
Yes.
Thank you for the amazing session. I'm just very curious to know, are there available some connectors regarding which applies on the jobs on our behalf?
I'm sorry, can you say that again? I didn't quite understand the question.
Are there some connectors available to apply and fill the application forms for applying to the jobs?
Oh, for job application, that's an interesting question. I have not. So, one thing I know that LinkedIn does not have a connector, and LinkedIn does not allow you to scrape data. So, you can even ask Cowork to like go on LinkedIn and scrape the data and um, do the job application. So I would be inclined to believe that that is not yet possible, and it's primarily because LinkedIn doesn't actually have have a connector.
How about on different platforms? Just like different platforms are providing their standalone services, which really fills all the information to all the workday websites or sites, career websites, I would say. So is that a possibility that we can create some kind of solution through Google Cowork, which can really help applying to the jobs?
Oh yeah, like building a solution is definitely possible. I have a friend who has a whole company that she's built on this. It's called nextroll.ai. Somebody from my team, please drop a link in the chat to nextroll.ai. Payal, you might have that information. Can you please drop Charu's company's link here in the chat? I appreciate it. There are companies who do this for you, automate, and it's definitely possible to build it. But connector wise, you can go here in the connectors and actually search up through the customized tab to see what different connectors are available.
I just pasted it, Kayuri. They changed the name
Oh, they changed the name. Okay,
to
thank
Roll Stack now.
you.
Yeah.
Oh, role stack. Okay. But yeah, you're welcome to search up the connectors for companies here. And the way you go to this directory is through connectors, and in the search bar, you can go and search for those connectors. Hey, all right. I think we are at the end. I think,
Actually, I had two quick questions.
yeah.
One, just to verify, this is recorded. Will that be shared? Because I kind of lost
Yes,
track of setting that up, so I wanted to be able to go back.
no problem. Yes, thank you for asking that question, Patrick. You will get the recording. So Maven sends an email out. You should get an email in the next 24 hours with the recording, with the slide deck, and with the two handouts, the step-by-step guide to setting up your About Me folders and whatnot, and the actual third file with the templates for the three files that we want you to set up.
The second question I had,
Mhm.
I heard that a lot of people are buying Apple Pros and Apple Minis and running Claude on that, and that may be an extension to an existing desktop or an existing system. And I think part of the benefit of that, as I understand it, is there may be some security things because it's, housed in its own environment and it can run, but also, potentially limiting some of the connections to the other hard drive and uses and things like that. Is there is there any concern about that? I mean, that's been stuck in my mind. I just got a new computer. I have some external hard drives. I was thinking about pursuing that path. Is there a benefit or anything related to that in your mind to set that up? That
Yes. Yes, thank you. That's a good question. I believe you're referring to OpenClaw. And a lot of the whole purpose, a lot of people who are much more tech savvy than being at the level that this session was at, do set up OpenClaw on their Mac Mini as a separate stopgap device. And the whole purpose of that is for security. Like you don't want it running on your main computer because there have been incidents reported where because you're giving full autonomy to the agents, right? The agents are working 24/7 doing all the jobs that you want it to do. And in doing so, just like an intern would by mistake erase an important client list, these agents have been there have been reports in the news that they've either ordered a whole bunch of things or written out Facebook ad worth hundreds of dollars on your behalf with your credit card. So the whole purpose of having a separate device is to limit what it sees and not run the clause on your main computer. And
Okay,
of course, if it's an organization, uh, if you're using a computer from that is company device, they're not going to let you run it
right.
for primarily that reason, the security and privacy. But you are welcome to run it on a smaller separate device where you can make sure you don't give it like credit card information, banking information, things like that, where you it's a sliding scale on how much risk you are comfortable with, right? So that's why having a separate device and only giving it things that you don't mind.
Yeah, so you could still load it on an external drive
Yeah.
and download and load the application to that external drive, still run it and do all the prompts and still connect to, you could even isolate a folder that's permission based or partition a portion of your hard drive for specifically using that.
Yeah,
Uh,
you can still do that if you wanted to do it. People do it separately because it's just cleaner and they don't want the agents to be, in case they worry about if the agents able to figure out how
yeah,
to how to do it then.
yeah. I don't want to get 12,000 cases of post-it notes delivered by mistake or something.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Thanks.
All right, thank you, Patrick. Thank you, everyone. Sufi, last question, and then we drop. Go for it.
Hey, Carrie, thanks for the session. I have a for the subsequent sessions, how do I register for those? Because I only registered for this one. I don't have the following weeks one.
Sure. Can somebody from my team drop the link here for to our form? We have a form that if you fill out, you will get all of the subscriptions. Like we'll sign you up for all the sessions and everything like that. Like the team will take care of it for you. So if you can fill out the form, they can take care of it for you.
Okay. And then there's one last question, I promise. I've used Cloud Code in my previous company, and I
Mhm.
was using the VS Code. Your screen showed me that you are probably using a subscription based. I was like more on the enterprise side of things, where I was using Visual Code, VS Code to kind of do certain things. But with this pro subscription, do you require to have VS Code or CLI, or you're able to kind of do the things that you can do, like automation or like get the agent set up without those?
You can do it without that as well.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Because I haven't got cloud subscription, so I'm motivated now after this session, so I'll
I think that's
take.
the best $20 you will spend. I highly
Okay.
recommend that you get it. Yeah, the automation alone in time savings that I get from using it is worth it.
Mhm. And the session that the cohort that you're starting is in July, you said. Is
Yes,
there any cohort before that or like
so July 20th, that cohort starts. It's a 4 week cohort. Before that, every Saturday morning at 11, except for July 4th. Every Saturday, we're going to show up here and keep doing these learning sessions, the free sessions.
okay, perfect. Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Thank you,
Appreciate it.
Sufi. I will see you next week. Bye,
Hopefully
everyone.
will.
Thanks for joining.
Thanks. Thank you. Bye.